Let's go back to the madness that is March. Ladies and gentlemen, it is an absolute honor to be joined by this icon from Michigan State. He became the head coach up there in 1995. 8 Final Four appearances, a national championship. Obviously, an absolute stud and a paisan that has led Michigan State in a way that has every Spartan fan around the globe saying, that's our guy.
Legend, GOAT, the best, love Tom Izzo so much.
That's Evan Fox.
You have no idea.
Evan Fox actually put a photo of he and Coach Izzo into the group this morning when he was 10 years old.
Yep.
Wow.
2005 Michigan State basketball camp right there.
Ladies and gentlemen, the man from that photo alongside Evan Fox, Coach Tom Izzo. Coach, how you doing?
Well, I know your show is a little different than most, but I didn't think you guys were drinking on the show. I mean, God almighty, that's a little bit too much for me. I don't deserve that, but I do. It is an honor to be on your show. I think I know my buddy Mariucci just talked to you the other day, and him and I have been a long time together, so this is great. I'm a football guy at heart. I actually like football more than basketball.
Okay, well, that's probably why your teams are so damn tough, and why we have so much appreciation. And that's what I was telling Coach Mariucci, and he said, obviously, he grew up with you in Michigan, has watched this, tries to support as much as possible, says he comes to every Big Ten championship, says he's tried to get to a couple games this year that are historic. Let's talk about that now. You've been breaking a lot of people's records as you've continued to go here with Michigan State. And every record that passes, do you try to celebrate? Do you try to think back? Do you reminisce? Is there nostalgia? How do you handle all the shit that's kind of coming with this stage of your career at Michigan State?
Well, Mariucci came in for our Indiana game. I was supposed to break Bob's record then, and we lost at home. So Mariucci wasn't invited back for a month. I got rid of him. But you know what? Those kind of records aren't as important to me because that just means you stayed somewhere a long time. I think the records that are important to me are the banners that hang and the rings you get and the things that'll last. Records are made to be broken. Banners are made to stay forever.
11-time Big Ten season champions, obviously. And you say just because the records happen is because you stay somewhere a long time. That's very rare, man, especially nowadays, Coach. They'll get rid of people. They will can people. They will move on. Fran just got moved on in Iowa. I think a lot of people assumed he'd probably be there for a long time. But everybody in Michigan State loves you, from the football people to every single fan. It's like you embrace everything that is Michigan State. What does that mean to you? And what is Michigan State to those that maybe don't understand? What are the type of people? What is the type of culture that you try to have with your team?
Well, we're kind of the blue-collar institution in this state, and damn proud of it, by the way. But, Nick Saban and I started together as assistants. Then we started together as head coaches and kind of had similar philosophies. And, what I've enjoyed about Michigan State, they've been good to me. I think I've been decent to them. And, the blue-collarness is what I like. It's a there's many different kinds of people here and multicultural in a lot of ways. And, we are what we are. And for the most part, I'm really proud of what we are. Mark D'Antonio came here and we went to a Final Four. They went to a Final Four in the same year. Those are exciting times when you can do things like that.
Yeah, Foxy still remembers getting all boozed up.
I was in college when that happened, Coach. So I went to both the Final Four in Indianapolis, watched your team, and I watched the football team as well. One of the greatest years of my entire life.
Yeah,
Foxy, we love you for that, man. We love you.
Let's go,
baby,
Coach.
Foxy!
You have no idea. You're the legend.
Foxy actually has a question for you, Coach.
Okay, Coach. January, February, Izzo is an absolute real thing. I've watched it my entire life, and I just need to know from your perspective, what's the secret sauce? How do you do it? Is it just a combination of the entire season coming together and finally you're getting hot at the right time? Or do you actually right now at this time crank practice up, do anything different? I need to know because I've watched it so many times in my life.
Well, these last couple of years, there was no March then because it was January, February, and things weren't as good. But, for the most part, guys, we have had some luck in March. I said God put March on the planet for basketball coaches, and it's been good to me. But I think it's a combination of things, some good players. I think we try to, after the first couple of years, year 4, we were in a Final Four. Year 5, we won it. And I kind of learned then that this is the new standard. Nothing else will be accepted. And you got to build towards it, and you don't want to be so good in December and then not very good. You don't want to burn guys out. So we've kind of had a philosophy. And at the same time, I'm the luckiest guy in America. Why Michigan State? From Magic Johnson, Mateen Cleave, Steve Smith, Draymond Green. I mean, those guys are all calling back now this week and making sure they're threatening our guys, to be very blunt and honest about it. They threaten them. And that works better than the coach doing anything.
Hey, the standard's the standard, okay? We will rip those jerseys off of your backs. You don't show up. I got respect for that. When the alumni buys in, especially whenever you've been around that long, it's easier to sell to the team, I would assume. Go ahead, AJ.
Coach, you mentioned that you like football better than basketball. What is it about football that you love so much? And do you ever, incorporate some kind of football drills, bring the pads in, knock the guys around a little bit at practice?
Hell yeah.
Well, I can tell you the funny story now. You probably heard it, but in 2000, 2001, when we won the national champ, we went to 3 Final Fours, and we went to Ohio State, and we lost the rebound battle for the first time in, I think, 18 games. And I said then, I got back, I told my equipment man, call Saban, tell him I need 12 sets of gear at practice tomorrow. We play a game called the War Game. It's a rebounding drill. So we had practice. I was mad. I brought out the pads. All the players, the 6'9" guys are wondering what the hell is a pad. So Mateen Cleaves was teaching guys how to button their chin straps. He was loving it. I was mad. I wanted it to be a grind drill. They started having so much fun. For 15 minutes, we beat the hell out of each other and nobody got hurt. Now, if I did that today, I'd probably get sued. So I don't do that as much anymore. But that was fun. And you know what? I had Zach Randolph. I had some guys that got after it. Yeah. And that's why we went to 3 straight Final Fours.
Okay, so hold on. I know you can't do the drill now, but let's go back in time. We're on wood with pads, or we're on a wrestling mat? Can you take me through the drill? How's this? Are we just, what are we, Oklahoma drills? What's going on?
Coastal Oklahoma drills. I know that one too, but 5 guys line up under the basket, 5 guys at the 3-point line. Boom, we hit each other, and whoever gets the ball gets the ball. And it was all on hardwood. It was a football team on hardwood. It was, somebody called my team that at the Final Four that year. They said, well, that's nothing but a football team on hardwood. And he was right, but it won a national championship, so it wasn't all that bad.
No, we need to get the pads back out.
Yeah.
We need to get the pads back out, it sounds like. I like that you have a tough team. I like that that's part of your culture, the blue collar. And it came out on senior night. One guy was ready to fight 2 people. Go ahead, Con Man.
Yeah, Coach, as a football guy, clearly you were pretty pumped about Trey Holloman kind of throwing down at midcourt when Michigan decided to, basically do the exact wrong thing. There's actually cut up footage of them not standing there for any free throws until then. It became a little bit of a scene. And then after the game, of course, you gave the speech and kind of gave Trey that honor as a junior to kiss the logo at midcourt, which is reserved for seniors only. When a moment like this happens, is this something you're showing every recruit? Like, hey, you're coming to Michigan State. This is the kind of guy we want, being able to throw down for your teammates. And how proud were you when, just watching from the sideline after the dust settled, like, wow, Trey Holloman's an absolute junkyard dog, and we got to love that.
Well, first of all, time out. I wasn't proud of it.
Okay.
I got to do my job, and I didn't even know what happened. But you got to flash back to the Fab Five sitting with their butt on that thing, rubbing it on it. There was a lot of things people don't know. When you've been here 30 years, I was actually here 40 because I was here as an assistant. So there was a lot more to it. I talked to my players about it, but I don't condone anything that is that crazy. I'm not that crazy, and I didn't condone it, but I felt like after I heard what happened, after I saw the voice stuff, there was a lot more to it than the average person would know. So I just wanted to make sure they know everybody's got a tradition. Can you imagine, guys? You guys, you played football, both of you. Can you imagine the banner at Michigan that they touch every time they come out? If our football team stood under it and didn't let them do it, there'd be 100,000 fans fighting.
Yes.
So, that's just the way it is.
I got it, and I think all of us respected and appreciated the way you handled it with your player. Now, the Michigan people are going to be like, hey, you're just standing there. what you want them to do. There's always going to be an out, but I do appreciate the rivalry. You know, like that only happens in a rivalry.
Yeah, it's weird how it's never their fault either, but neither here nor there.
Coach, don't laugh.
Coach, you know it. You know it.
He knows it well. But you know what? You one thing that a rivalry, like John Beeline used to ask me, one day I said, well, you got to hate your rivals. You can respect them. You can't like them. Do you like your wife's ex-boyfriend? I mean, it's illegal to do that.
Respect. Ty has a question for you, Coach.
Coach, being another Big Ten guy, I've watched enough of your teams over the course of my life to know that you're not exactly, about the bullshit. Everyone these days is kind of talking about how much kids have changed from, maybe 20, 25 years ago. How much has your coaching philosophy changed over the course of your career, and how different is it coaching kids now than it maybe was when you had those teams with Mateen Cleaves and Mo Pete and guys like that?
Oh, those guys were fist fighters, I mean, it has changed, but I use the football term all the time, when things change and you got all these different offenses and defenses, and at the end of the day, you still got to be able to block, tackle, and not turn the ball over, and in basketball, you still got to be able to defend and rebound to win on the road and not turn the ball over. So I think I've changed some, unfortunately. I think I'm getting back to my old self. Your show maybe brings it to fact. You say and do what you want on this. You're not politically correct all the time.
Whoa.
And I would be considered not a politically correct guy all the time. But I think if you spend time with your players, they know you're coaching them to win championships. You want them to be pros. They want to do these things that 1% of the world does, but they think everybody should just be able to do it by patting you on the back and nice job, buddy. You just missed 10 shots in a row. That's great,
Yeah, but remember, the old cliche is they don't care what you know until they know that you care. Obviously,
exactly.
Those moments
on my desk.
Yeah. Oh, really? Oh, wait.
Yeah, I had a sign that fell down, but I keep it on my desk all the time because you're right about that. It is true. I got to make sure I get in here.
Oh no. This is the 20 years difference thing too. It's got a half face. You need to slide to your right, I think.
To my right?
Boom.
There you go. Is that better?
Smack the wood, slide to the left.
There you go.
Yeah, perfect. You nailed it. Absolutely.
Oh, the other right. I got it.
Yeah, that's a cliche for a reason though. What people see on TV at the biggest game, a coach and a player interacting, they don't see the actual hundreds of hours beforehand to get to know that person. Are you a guy that views all of them like your kids? You hear a lot of coaches say that type of thing. I wouldn't let my kids do this, so I'm not going to let my players do this. Is that how your relationship is with the boys on the team? And has it been that way throughout the entirety? Have you had to evolve?
Well, my two kids are now 30 and 25, and I unfortunately, I have to admit, I spent more time with my players than I did my kids, and that's not always fair. That's the reality of coaching, as I think every football and basketball coach, and probably other sports too, but that is the reality of it. I try to bring my family in with my team because you don't get enough family time unless you do that. But hell yeah, you look at them, you want them to be successful. You want them to be great. You want them to win championships. You want them to have a life after basketball. I mean, really our job is to make the next 70 years better than the first 20. It's getting harder to do because holding people accountable and things is, people look at that as illegal nowadays.
I think it's coming back. Stay strong. I think it's coming back for the good of everybody. By the way, for the good of everybody. If everybody's allowed to make money and earn money for what they do and what they bring, sweet. If they're also able to evolve and to become men, going forward, and women in sports, that'll be great for society as a whole. I think it's coming back. Tona is the last question for you here, Coach Izzo.
Yeah, Coach, kind of around the family and the 20 years difference and being able to coach guys harder. Is it easier when you have Jason Richardson's kid, Jace Richardson, on the team? Are you allowed to coach him a little harder because he is the son of a professional athlete and they kind of just come in with an idea of the work and the ethic and all that you have to come in to be successful?
Jace has been a treat. He was not only raised by his father, who was 14 years in the league and won, championship, 2 Final Four, a national championship here, and all the things he accomplished. but his mother's a coach too. She coached him. So he's getting it from all sides. And he has been an easy kid to coach because, you know, he expects more of himself than I expect of him. And that's pretty cool when that happens. So, yeah, Jason has helped. And when Jason was here with Mateen and those guys, man, it was a little crazier back then, but it was fun too. And it's an honor that he'd let his son come play for me after 25 years.
For your team to go on a run, what do they have to do, Coach? What is your main thing here for your squad?
Yeah, we got to get a little better with our three-point shooting. That's been a weakness all year, but we've defended, we've rebounded, we've ran good, we've shot free throws, we got to the line. You got to be good enough to be great and then lucky enough to win in this tournament, because there's always a Cinderella out there, or there's always an upset waiting. You know, unlike your guys' sport, football, usually the bigger, stronger, better team wins. We got to put that damn orange thing in that hoop. And some nights, no matter how good a play you run, it just doesn't get there. And so that's why I say you got to be a little lucky too. But I like the fact that our defense travels, and we'll see what it can do for us.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck. And hopefully it's 9 Final Fours for you in all of the Sparties. Foxy, you have anything to say to him on the way out?
Coach, thanks for everything. You're the man. You're the GOAT. Can't wait to watch you guys win the title this year.
And
Go green.
There you go. Go white.
Hell yeah, that was a big moment for Foxy there. It was a big moment. We appreciate you, Coach. Ladies and gentlemen, Tom Izzo.
Yeah, Coach.